Cool. So everybody, thank you for joining us. So it's a real pleasure. This is the team I want to present. This is our team at, a company that is going to try and replace banking with code. So one of the things I'm most excited about for this company is that we have a multidisciplinary team that covers all aspects of what you need basically to compete against the global banking sector. It's anchored, of course, in our technology team. We have an amazing back-end team that's programming in Golang. We have a front end in Flutter. We have marketing people. We have our head of insurance. We have legal and regulatory. As you know, we're regulated here in Switzerland. So I gave a previous update today. Some unauthorized things have happened with the WCRES shares. And essentially, our lawyers are looking into it. I don't want anybody to be worried. All of your investment is completely safe. We're taking steps as a company to make sure that your investment is totally protected. This is a startup. Some of these things happened. What I'm most excited about is we have just some incredible tech that we're going to reveal to you today. So before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about the structure. So what you have invested in is the WCRES shares. Essentially, you've all bought it from me if you've bought it on Uniswap, because I'm the only person that has offered shares in the company. And what I'm doing is I'm offering essentially, Elsa, can you get the dog, please? So what I'm offering essentially is tokens in the new company that I'm setting up. The new company is going to continue on exactly the vision of Cresco. But it's going to be even better. So we're applying for a banking license here in Switzerland. I'm capitalizing the company in ETH. So it's going to be the first company. It's going to be the first bank alternative that has ever been capitalized in ETH. It's the first time here in Switzerland, and I'm super excited about it. And the vision is always the same. The vision is to merge CeFi and DeFi. And our tech team is going to talk about some of the products that we've got coming. So this new company, Fluid Finance or FluidFi, we're going to reveal to you. This is happening in real time. If you're looking for a really polished bank presentation, this isn't the right place. This is the right company to be in. So for all of you who have held WCRES tokens, you're going to get an airdrop of Fluid tokens. So for every CRES token you hold, you're going to get 10 Fluid tokens. We're airdropping it to the Arbitrary. We're airdropping it to Arbitrum. This is happening in real time. We've removed the liquidity from the WCRES ETH pool on Uniswap to protect investors, to protect the company, partly on the advice of our lawyers. And so what we're doing is I don't want anybody to be concerned. This is Switzerland. It's not a rug pull. We're a fully regulated company. I've decided to extend the lock on my tokens by 5 years. For the new company, for Fluid Finance, I will be locking up my tokens for 5 years. This is something that I'm really passionate about. This is a long-term project for me. So you are receiving Fluid tokens. The details of that are to come. We're creating a new pool. This is happening in real time. You're going to see it tonight. As it happens here in Switzerland, you'll be able to follow it on chain. We're going to be a lot more responsive than we were previously. So this is going to be open and transparent. So what we're going to do with the new company is going to essentially be a bridge between CeFi and DeFi. And we're offering 2 core products that are coming to market very soon. On Monday, we're going to open up to our testers. We have 35 testers that have agreed to test it, plus the core team has been testing it for a while. It's a web app. And the web app is, I think, really revolutionary. I think it's a missing piece of infrastructure in DeFi. It essentially allows a user to go directly from their bank account with us into DeFi and back. So you can mint, you can redeem. We're building it into Arbitrum where gas costs are a lot lower. We're going to be integrating into other projects. If you're running a really cool project somewhere and you would like to integrate with us, please reach out. The mobile app is also coming afterwards, and the mobile app allows you to do the 4 core functions of a bank. So that's deposits, borrowing, investments, and savings. That will be coming soon. We're going to be revealing it and rolling it out to our community, very shortly. So look, this is a startup. It's a audacious vision to try and replace the global banking sector. We really passionately believe that DeFi is going to be the solution. that DeFi is going to replace CeFi. At the moment, we're kind of a unique company. We're really integrated into both parts, into both architectures. And what we do essentially, when people ask me to describe who is FluidFi, besides the idea of like replacing banking with code and helping people make their money work harder for them, essentially what it is a combination of Revolut and DeFi together in one company. So I'd like to introduce the team. The team we can just go through. We can talk a bit about like our amazing tech team. I'd like Amadeo Brands, who is our CTO, to talk a little bit about the tech team. And you know, this is a bit of a strange situation for us. So we're going to be around. We're creating a new Discord. We're creating a new Telegram group. There's new social media that's going live. There's a new website that's going live tonight. It's all FluidFi, but it's the vision that you believed in, the vision that you wanted to participate in for a company. Only better, I think. So Amadeo, tell us a little bit about the technology that you're building. So.
Yes, thank you, Robert. And maybe I should start with saying some words here that we have been building a lot in the background, and it's been very exciting for me to share that with the community. But there has been some situations which I couldn't have talked about in the past, but luckily I can now. And yeah, they have to do with the previous managing director, Derek, and it halted a lot of our development and a lot of things we could do. And there has been, as Robert spoke out, some suspicious activities. So we had to unfortunately act the way we acted now. But nevertheless, it means that we can present to you what we have been building all this time. And I'm very excited to share that with you. But not before yeah, as you can see here, we have a full tech team set up. As you know, I was working on that when I joined the company. Right now, we have maybe everybody can just say hello a little bit. So yeah, I'm Amadeo Brands. Everybody knows me. I'm not sure if the lineup, like basically this side of me, we have Nikolai, who's the project manager of the tech team in St. Petersburg. So we have a developer hub in St. Petersburg we set up. And we also, as you see, there's also a lot of new faces from all over the world. So we have a main developer hub in St. Petersburg, and we have a marketing team and a lot of new faces, as you can see here. So maybe we do a very short round around everybody, and everybody says a little bit hello and tells a little bit about their role and what they're doing in the company. And then afterwards, I'm going to go do a deep dive into the technology and what we have been building. And I'm going to show the code and the working application. So maybe Nikolai, you want to start as project lead for the St. Petersburg tech team?
Oh, I really haven't been prepared for my speech, but what can I say? It was really great times, but hard times. I have no beard before I joined WCRES Caffeine and now FluidFi. I have no such big circles under my eyes, but I still love the people who I'm working with. I still love Robert and his great idea of replacing banking with code and making the better world. I want to say to community that we that we are working really hard to make the best application. We already drank so much coffee. We smoked a lot of cigarettes. We delivered tons of code and features, yeah, we are not communicate with you directly. For example, Edgar, Igor, Leonid, Nick, Bart, etc. But we read every comment in the community chat, and please go on. Please motivate us, keep us motivated. We really appreciate your feedback, negative and positive. And of course, we are trying to do our best to launch this application as fast as possible. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Nikolai, the tech lead from St. Petersburg. And then we also maybe it's a bit too short on time to let everybody, but maybe like we have on the right side we have Igor, who is the lead developer for the St. Petersburg team, and he's working mostly on the centralized financial side of things. So as you will see in the presentation that I will give in a little bit, Igor is the tech lead for the centralized financial side of everything. And then we have, of course, Nick. And together with Nick, I'm building out the DeFi side of things. So we're merging like the centralized financial world and the decentralized financial world with a technology team in Russia really battling with very complex integrations with Currency Cloud, with Verev, and with Accomplished Bank, and with other like needed things that we need to integrate with for making a CeFi and DeFi merge work. It's pretty interesting and complex. I have some funny stories of things we found out, like in the weekend you cannot trade, so we have to work arounds for that. There is a lot of bridges we need to cross, and but Igor is doing an amazing job, and we're getting there, and I will show that in a minute in the presentation. Then we have Leonid, who is a Flutter developer, together with Bart, who is also a Flutter developer, works on the front end. So as I think I already explained before, we use Golang in the back end, and we use Flutter for the front end for the mobile application. And for the web application, you will see in a little bit, we are using Vue.js in the front end and also Golang in the back end. And of course, we use Solidity and Ethereum layer 2, like Arbitrary, etc., for the smart contract integrations. And then we have also Visali, who is the head of the tester. Then we have Mark, who is also a Solidity developer, who is also two Marks, Mark KH and Mark F. So Mark F is more of the business development side, and Mark KH is for the CeFi side and DeFi side backend. He's also a holder of Anchor and interested in DeFi and interested in CeFi side of things. And we have Edgar, who is also a backend Golang developer as well. We have, let's see if I got everybody. We have Tatiana, who's helping with the web development. We have Jan Willem, who is a QA engineer, helping us with the quality check of all our code. And we have, of course, also the rest of the team and everybody. I think the new faces are now clear. I think some people are not here in the call.
Maybe Amadeo, I'll just say for the rest of the team, what I'm really the most humbled about is that a lot of people have joined from the community. And when I took this company public like a year or so ago, what I really wanted was to develop a community of people who could help with this kind of this vision, who would contribute their efforts, who would contribute their money, who would invest. And in the future, what I'd really like is people who can join our core team. So we are expanding, we're hiring, we're looking for people who can do development work, we're looking for people who can help with marketing. I'm really happy that if I look through these faces, I look at the Nick joined from the community, which I was really delighted about. Ash is the most recent one who's joined. He's in Colorado. We've had Sheila who's joined. There's been so many people that have joined us from the community. We have quite a few others. We have Amazon Prime Wolverine. I'm not sure if that's his real name, but he is also joining. He's a PhD from England. He's joining us as for integration on the CeFi side of things. There's Torab from Hayward, California. His handle is Satoshi. Not sure if it's the real Satoshi. He's joining us as well. Archon from the community is advising us. So the thing that we're really trying to do is we're really trying to meld between being a core team and being a community and being people who are just going to use the product. So we're looking to turn everybody into evangelists for FluidFi, which is a company that is really going to take the fight to centralized banking. So if I quickly go through the rest, we have like Max, who does operations for us. We have Simon Gonzalez Moreno, who's our head of insurance and risk management. We have Mark, who's our global head of partnerships. We have Ravi, who runs marketing for us. Elsa, everybody knows from social media. We have Sheila, who runs compliance and human resources for us. She's based in Barcelona. We have Galina, who does all of the amazing interactions between human beings and the technology. So she does UX and UI for us. She's sitting in Moscow. We have Felix, who's our head of strategy, here with me here in Geneva. We have Tatiana, who does all of our front end like websites and coding. It's super cool. We have Henna, who needs to turn her video on, who is from Nigeria, and she's our amazing community manager. And then Ash, or Arash, or Ash, who's joined from the community, and he's gonna help us with marketing. So we've hired like 5 new people just in the last week, and we're gonna continue hiring. This company is, despite some challenges at times, is, you know, has a clear vision of growth. So the thing that keeps me like the most excited about it, and why I have poured all of my money and passion into it, is the tech that's coming out. So Amadeo, you need to tell us about you need to show us like the web app. And the web app actually goes live on Monday with our testers. After that, we're rolling it out to other people. We've also involved our advisors. So you all know we have really amazing advisors. They're real advisors. They're not people to like shill our project. They're really like helping us like with how we essentially merge these two worlds and make you know, and create a bankless vision of the future. So they are also testing it, starting it on Monday. So tell us a bit more about it, Amadeo. And then eventually, I guess we want everybody who's watching this, everybody in our community, everybody who's going to hold fluid tokens. This is you know, you know, we want to like essentially like try and change the world in a community-driven model. It's like a bit of a bold idea, but the way to do it is this tech is just mind-blowing. So
yes, exactly. Thank you, Robert. So yeah, as you can see here, like, let's go over the presentation now, right? So FluidFi is basically a bridge between two worlds. And as we see here, like we have banks that we're competing with, we have fintech that we're competing with, maybe some other, you know, DeFi protocols, and maybe some other like centralized exchanges. And as you see, like we offer bank accounts, we offer a fiat on and off ramp. We will in the future offer saving products, we will offer investment products, and we will offer the ability for everybody to be their own mint. So this means that when you have your bank account on your mobile phone or on your web interface, that you will actually be able to seamlessly connect your crypto account to it, so that you have your traditional banking account and your crypto account in one. And it's not just a bank account somewhere in Lithuania or something, but it is a real bank account with like Swiss regulated and much stronger than most of our competitors. And we are fully regulated in Switzerland. And I think Robert has some very cool announcement later. Maybe he wants to add there. I think I'm not sure if I can say that already, what the plans are there. So a little bit of a backstory. I think some people that are coming to the AMA more frequently are aware of the model that we were building, right? So we I joined some time ago, and then I looked at with the team. We looked together like, okay, how do we build this banking infrastructure, and how do we build a way to get the highest yield on your savings, right? And we were looking, and we had the invoice finances and stuff like that, but we saw like in DeFi, there's much more secure ways to get a much higher yield than in the traditional world. So how do we get there? How do we make that merge or bridge to this other world? And how do we then capture the yield for people that have a fiat account and want to get the yield, right? Or how do we let people exchange their government fiat currency for an actual currency that actually makes a yield and not just pays all the middlemen or the salaries of the banks? So what we came up with is our own stablecoin called Fiat USD. Much more on that probably later in different AMA, or if we have time, we can also go in depth in that topic. So as you can see here, we have a full bank account regulated in Switzerland, and then we're also going to set up a decentralized organization that will capture and merge these two worlds together. All right, so a little bit more about the team, and we actually went over all that. So there has been some changes. Ravi is a new chief marketing officer. We have together with Arash as well. So we're still like, it's a bit of a shared role. Felix, myself, Galina, Tatjana, and Mei Wang. And underneath that, we have like amazing people in the team. We also have a web application. The web application, and as some people already know that are watching the AMA, the web application is going to go live in beta testing on Monday, and people will use it. And I will show it in a little bit. It's now running on my local host, so we're deploying it right now to Arbitrum, and it will you will be able to test it. There's going to be very cheap fees because Arbitrum is really cheap, so that's really cool. That's going to be very amazing, and it's going to be live. It's already live on my local host. I will show it I can actually show it right now. And as you see here, yeah, it's still on my local host, so you can sign up, sign in. And as you see here, this is just testing Fiat, and you can be your own mint. You have to authenticate, connect your wallet, authenticate the ownership, whitelist your address, and then you can actually mint to chain. And then we mint your own stablecoin to your own crypto address, so you will keep control of it yourself. You can invest in maybe in a curve pool or an Aave, etc. That's what we're all now integrating with and building. What the cool thing is, which I find personally the most amazing thing about this, is that we now you then have a bank account, which will be later available also on your mobile phone and in a web application where you can just later also have cards, etc. So you just have a standard bank account, but in that bank account you just connect seamlessly to your on-chain address, where you can just mint your fiat to a digital representation of your fiat. It's safe, there's no negative interest rates. And there, with that, you can then use it in all the DeFi primitives that most of the people watching here are familiar with. So that is, I think, very, very revolutionary what we can do there. And yeah, as I said, that's going to be tested in beta on Monday. And hopefully that's still with like test money. And hopefully that same week, if everything goes well, or maybe a week later, we go also live with real fiat with that. All the integrations and everything for that is ready. We're just doing a step-by-step rollout because we're dealing here, of course, with real money. It's a lot of, security, etc. We also actually completed our security audit from Solidify. That will all be, in a blog post or listed on the website soon. Yeah, and as you see, like our marketing lagged behind a little bit because we had some internal conflicts and issues, but it's only good, I think, for the community to know that our tech is now front running the marketing. So all this news and all the things that we're developing will be coming out clearly for everybody soon with in-depth descriptions and also the audit reports. And of course, we will also open source some of the stuff that we're building here as well. We have our mobile app, of course. You see here a sneak peek of the mobile app. We're also working hard on that. The mobile app is now in alpha testing, meaning that we're doing now some internal testing of the mobile application. It runs on Android and iOS, and that is also coming live in beta testing for everybody very soon. Announcement of that will follow. Yeah, so basically a little bit of the business, the planning that we had in mind, and this is again we want to, instead of like before saying like this is going to happen, no, we're going to keep it a little bit broad, but these are the broad lines what we want to do. We want to go live with a web application. We want to have users mint and redeem Fiat USD, which stands for fully insured asset tethered to their own wallets. And we're going to integrate with different DeFi partners coming up, like maybe, Anchor or with Aave, or with, we're talking actually to quite a lot of people, Curve, of course, and more information of that will follow soon. Then later we want to launch our retail application. And we need some feedback from you guys for that, because of course our web application, it's like all non-custodial. So you're completely, when you mint your assets, it's your responsibility to keep them secure, and you can do with it what you want. And then later you can redeem them, of course. In the retail app, we're still discussing how are we going to do that. We have a partnership with Fireblocks, and there it's maybe going to be a custodial setup, because we then like a multi-sig or something, where we help the people and educate them to eventually everybody to become non-custodial and be in control of their own assets. So let's see. Then we also want to launch a DAO, which I tell a little bit later more about, and liquidity boosters are coming as well, with liquidity mining programs, etc. And later we want to expand product offering, and we want to go for a full banking license in Switzerland, and we want to integrate, of course, with more DeFi partners. This is still very rough, so bear with us. And yeah, we want to make this as open and as interactive as possible. So anybody that has feedback or comments, let me know. So this is maybe going a little bit too fast, but we also have some other stuff to talk about. I leave it up to Robert. Maybe you have something to add here as well.
No, that's great. Let's yeah, we definitely go through it. It's been a difficult day for us here at the team. So you're kind of seeing things in real time. It's not as polished as it maybe should be, but I kind of like that. I mean, it's really, what you see is what you get with the companies. So there's going to be a lot more transparency and openness going forward. You're going to see this built, before your eyes, and there'll be bugs, there'll be errors. I was up late last night testing the web app, and it's just incredible. I mean, I really think it's a missing piece of the infrastructure to allow people to go from their own bank account into DeFi and back again. Allows people to go around exchanges. It's something that was, I think, impeding the development of DeFi. So we really see this as revolutionary. We're going to make it a common good. So we're not going to charge, the high fees that exchanges charge. I've got a side-by-side chart that the social media team is going to get out shortly. And, the idea is that we're going to charge at cost. So, and that's Arbitrum minting cost. So compare that to the fees you would have paid on Coinbase or, at Circle would earn or whatever. So, you're going to see this as we develop it. We're going to be, we've moved to part of the office here in Geneva has been converted into kind of like a little studio by Felix and Elsa. So you're going to be seeing videos. We're going to put them out twice a week. We're going to be opening up all of our stuff so you can see it as it comes. There's a lot of stuff that's coming. I think a core product, I think, is really amazing, but even more so because we don't want to be like Circle. We don't want to be a centralized entity. We're moving our treasury and mint functions out of FluidFi into community governance, into a DAO structure. So for everybody that holds Fluid tokens, you're going to receive governance tokens in the DAO in the future. So we can't say right now all the people who are going to be involved in the DAO, it's going to be open source. So if you're running a really cool DeFi protocol and you want to work with a regulated Swiss bank, drop us a line. But the people who are going to be involved in the DAO are hopefully some of the leaders that you see throughout DeFi. And we're going to drop some of these governance tokens to everybody basically who uses the product. So not only you are the mint, like Amadeo said, you're also going to be the owner. You're going to be the owner in what you do, in the banking that you use in the future. So we've got some really amazing stuff coming. Websites are not up yet. This is raw. I've written a Medium article. Ravi's done an amazing Medium article on Fiat USD, our stable coin that basically underpins our ability to move between these two worlds, these two architectures. That's all coming. That's gonna come in time. So
yeah, so if I may add here, while we were building this architecture, we're like, wow, we kind of built a generalized way to mint a real world assets on a blockchain. Of course, it's been tried a couple of times, but I think in combination with a stablecoin that we're going to put live and potentially other real world assets that we're going to bridge or merge with a new technology stack called decentralized finance, I think we have a real, really something to add to the DeFi community and to the DeFi space. And that's why we wanted to open source it and give it to the community. And to be very clear, we have the Fluid tokens, which is a security token. So if I go back in the slides, you can basically see it here, right? So we have FluidFi, which is basically the centralized financial infrastructure banking, which has a security token. Then we have the DeFi infrastructure that is basically minting these assets to the blockchain. This basically this middle part that will be encapsulated in a decentralized organization. And it mostly has to do that if we do this, the protocol, but also the minting and the redeeming of fiat to a blockchain will become, maybe it's a bit too extreme, but become more nation state resistant. It becomes more and more resistant against any attacks of anything, and it becomes more open for everybody to use. And it will eventually include more and more people to this new and beautiful space and make more and more people, in control of their own assets. And I think that's a very beautiful thing and something very important for the world with everything that's going on right now in the world. So that's what we're doing, and that's what we're trying to achieve here. And more on that will follow after all the other announcements of the mobile app and the web app. And this is also something we also have been working on. And this bridge is basically already working, as you saw in the web application. We are minting our own stablecoin to Arbitrum. And actually, the most beautiful thing is we are now minting Arbitrum. I had a small discussion with somebody from the community. It was like, well, Arbitrum, why not Ethereum layer 1? Well, we can also do layer 1, but it's just because of gas costs. And we can deploy to any EVM compatible blockchain. So we're talking to a Terra network. We're talking to, we're thinking about Matic or Polygon or of course Ethereum layer 1 and Arbitrum, and maybe later Optimism or any other layer 2s as well. So that's going to be very cool. Yeah, I'm not going to tell too much more about the DeFi bridge now, but more of that will follow probably in the next AMA. Yeah, just to summarize a little bit of what I just said, we have basically a more secure way to bridge your assets to the real world, and we're going to build an infrastructure that's ready for mass adoption. Our stablecoin and also our infrastructure is going to be fully transparent, and the fiat, our new stablecoin, is going to be fully and transparent and on-chain for everybody to check. And it's not just a thing that they also, USDC or USD Tether said. No, we actually have APIs that are constantly checked and constantly basically push their balance. And we are not able to mint more of our stablecoin than it's actually in the treasury accounts that is fully auditable by basically everyone, because it's an open API. More on that later. And we're going to build a DAO to merge more and more real world assets to the blockchain and do that in a most efficient way possible. Yeah, and that was me. Let me know if there's any questions. And also the new FluidFi forum has gone up. I migrated all the old users from the forum to the new forum, and we're gonna be more active there moving forward. And the old Cresco forum will be deprecated. So that's a small announcement.
Okay, so we have a couple, Amadeo, we have a couple videos where we're going to explain essentially how to use the web app. So it'll show how people essentially can go from can create a bank account and can go from their bank account into DeFi. So that's a video that is coming up. We're going to put it together with the team. So we're ready to do that. We're going to do that here in Switzerland, and maybe after this call. The other thing I'm sure everybody's wondering about is the Fluid tokens. So can we talk about the deployment for that? This is a bit of a crazy day. So people are seeing things in real time. Sorry, I'm so impressed. For the Fluid tokens, which we're deploying on Arbitrum. It wasn't the day that I had planned, but I'm like, this shows you why you need to have an amazing and a really full in-house tech team. So I'm so impressed that you guys have created the token, have it ready for deployment, and we're going to we've removed the liquidity from Uniswap. Can you talk to the people about how that works? And we're going to give an example video of it. We're going to make we're going to make a video with Elsa here. I think you have WCRES in your MetaMask, right?
I do.
So we're going to use, so Felix is going to set that up. We're going to, so everybody will be able to see if they hold WCRES, how they get fluid tokens. But I understand that you have to switch your MetaMask to Arbitrum. You've got to put in the contract address, add the token, and then you'll be able to see it in your MetaMask. Right? We haven't done it. I know we're going to deploy after this call, but
Well,
like explain it for people.
Yeah, so basically what we did, because like it's it's funny, right? So this like WCRES is a security token, and like in life and as in everything in life, there's always some disagreements or splits or misalignments and things, right? It's fine. And normally in blockchain, it's a fork, right? And it is really cool that we can actually do that. Imagine if this was just a startup and you just had shares, it would be terrible because probably it wouldn't be this easy, right? So what we just did, well, we made a snapshot at a certain block height, and then everybody that had an amount of WCRES will get a similar amount of fluid tokens. We increased the market cap by 10x. So this means that basically you can see here your label for fluid token airdrop. So yeah, so as you can see here, I put in an address that is we use for testing, and you can see here that this address had WCRES before we made the snapshot, so they will also be eligible for an airdrop of the fluid tokens. And basically the fluid token will be airdropped to Arbitrum network. So it's amazing because we're going to a network where, you know, transaction fees and transferring, etc., it's actually much cheaper. So what happens, you will get an if you go to the Arbitrum network, you open your MetaMask or whatever you use to check your tokens, you will see there in the same, it's the same address, so it's connected to the same private key as you have your Ethereum tokens. You will get then fluid tokens on the Arbitrum network. And yeah, you can see it as a hard fork, I think. A little bit like that. And you can basically check this website. This will all go up very soon. And as you can see, it's WCRES snapshot.fluidify.ch. More information will follow. And I think also beneath this, we will probably indeed paste a video explaining how to add that to your MetaMask and how to interact with the Arbitrum network.
Yeah, we're going to make that afterwards here in Geneva. So yeah, that's great. And what about people who've got it afterwards? If they want to claim, if there's an issue about like getting fluid tokens, you can reach out to the team.
What is
join
really
us on
nice,
Discord or Telegram. This is
you
all
don't have
technically provided by me. So yeah, reach out to us.
Yeah, and you don't have to claim, right? So the nice thing is, like in normal airdrops, you have to like claim and pay a lot of gas fees. That's we already took care of everything for the community. So basically, we send it already in your wallet on Arbitrum. So the only thing you need to do is switch to the Arbitrum network, Arbitrum 1, and a video of how to do it will come, and then you will get the tokens there, and also the liquidity and everything moves to the Arbitrum network. So it's much easier for you to trade, and you can check it out there. And I would say, like, if anybody doesn't have gotten the airdrop but did hold WCRES tokens, please send us a screenshot or a transaction hash of your wallet balance, and we will sort it out with you. Bear with us. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. So look, there's a lot going on here at the company, but I want you to be reassured that like what you see in front of us is like a little over half of our team. It's team where people who are like really passionate about this idea. Nothing changes with the team, nothing changes with the technology. You actually, if you can think of it like that, you now have two horses in the race. Cresco is continuing focusing on what it was doing. You know, Fluid Finance is going to be focusing on essentially the institutional side of things. So, you know, we're really excited that you will join us on this journey. A lot of things you're going to see putting in place will come quite quickly, but give us a little bit of time. We're going to be setting up like websites. We're going to be setting up. We have a Medium article. We've got a bunch of other things that are coming. So we're also can open up perhaps to like you know, a more interactive discussion with our community. We will do that as soon as we can. We'll have some more stuff to announce, but yeah, we're really excited about this. So Amadeo, we're going to create the pool on Arbitrum later today, and so trading will recommence with this, right?
Yeah, correct. So basically, we're going to move to Arbitrum, and trading will recommence. I saw, of course, some people that are a little bit new, and it's not the most easiest way, but it's the only thing that we were possible to do. And you know, like I do want to say a note for that. So you know, unfortunately, Derek was literally dumping his tokens on the community, and we had to make this choice. You know, like if we didn't have done this, unfortunately, Derek was moving shares. He was not allowed to move, and he was just dumping on the community. So if we wouldn't have done this, then the price would have just dropped because Derek would have sold all his shares, which is terrible. And so we had to do this. If we didn't have done this, then the price would have dropped. So we had to so-called put it like a handbrake and move over to the Arbitrum network to do this airdrop. And also we will move all the liquidity to the new token, where just, you know, Robert is in main control. And I also want to add to that Robert, you know, funded basically all of it out of his own pocket right now. So he's the main financier and the main guy that's pulling the wagon right now financially. And he made this decision because Derek was kind of just dumping everything, and it's horrible. So we really had to do this. And I'm very sorry if anybody has any inconvenience or if it's not easy for this person, but the full marketing team, Elsa, is 24/7 available to help you with the migration. Right, Elsa? Yeah. Yes. Okay. So Elsa, it's a bit hard now with the sound because Robert and Elsa are in the same office. It's okay. But yeah. So and we have a whole team available to help anybody with any issues, and the liquidity will be moved to Arbitrum, and Arbitrum is much faster and cheaper as well. So
yeah. So look, you're seeing a lot of things in real time. We have yet to deploy the tokens and create the pool. So Nick and Amadeo, we can sync afterwards, please, and do that. But look, I want to share a few things with our community about some things that are coming. You're kind of seeing this in real time. This is the website that we're going to deploy a little bit later today. It's kind of an instant production, but I'm really proud of it. I'm really excited. The team you're looking at our Zeppelin. So this is our in-house behind the scenes look at who we are and what we're doing. You get a great view also of the product. So this is going to come just as soon as we can get it up. And yeah, you can also see, if I go to these screens, you can see, this is the mobile app that is coming. There's some really amazing stuff. This is my favorite. This is our dashboard. And so this is what the FluidFi app is going to look like. Some of it is still a little bit in progress, sort of comments maybe for me, but it does the 4 core functions of a bank. It does accounts, savings, investments, and borrowings. On the traditional finance side of things, we're built into currency cloud architecture. That's the architecture that underpins Revolut and Klarna and a bunch of other like really leading TradFi institutions. So we've really gone with the best and the most expensive on the traditional CeFi side of things. We also have like cards. We have MasterCards. Those are going to be virtual, kind of in line with our vision. We're going to integrate with Visa as well. And then on the DeFi side of things, I hope you notice that, like, one of the things that I really love in this dashboard that we're going to put in everybody's hands is a mint function. So, I took a bit of persuading from the tech team, but basically what this is like, we're going to try and convince normies, mass market, to come into DeFi and show them the benefits of DeFi. People do things because like they get benefits out of it, right? So you get a higher savings rate. You can like do payments 24/7 that are almost costless and instantaneous. And, you can make investments in like, tokenized, fractionalized shares, like our own shares that we tokenized as the first regulated company to do that on Uniswap. So we've got some really, really cool stuff that's coming. So, but you got to bear with us. It's been a little bit of unexpected and a little bit of a difficult day, but we have lots of great things coming. So we'll do a lot better trying to convince all of you that you should like really back us as the bank alternative. And we need our community. The core thing for me when I took this company public was to try and develop a community. So I'm really touched that so many of you have invested in the company and stayed with us and supported us. So thanks very much.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of questions probably. Maybe who's leading the Q&A backlog?
And Max, do you have some questions from the group? This has been a long presentation as well. I don't want to bore people. We also have like some things we need to do, like to create the pools on Arbitrary and deploy. So,
Amadeo, can you talk about the fluid tokenomics, please? And that's what everyone's asking for, as well as fiat USD going to be insured.
Yeah, amazing question. So basically, FluidFi is just a security token, and so it has the exact same token economics as the WCRES has. So it's a security token and a share in the FluidFi Corporation in Switzerland. The DeFi Bridge DAO, the DBD tokens, we are now working on the token economics there, but they will probably have similar token economics as of CRV, so Curve Finance, similar to how that works and how that is set up, and more on the DeFi Bridge DAO tokens later. But for the Fluid tokens, it's the same as the WCRES setup. Maybe Robert has something to say about that as well.
No, that's right. It's it's a full equity participation in Fluid Finance SA, which is applying for a banking license here in Switzerland. I'm capitalizing the company in ETH, in Ethereum. So like I said, it'll be the first company in Switzerland ever to be capitalized in ETH. So it's gonna be pretty cool. And you will own a share of that. You'll own the same share that you own in like the old company in the new company. So it's so that's how it's working. And also everybody who owns Fluid tokens will also get an airdrop of the DeFi Bridge DAO tokens, DBD tokens, because we're moving our treasury and mint function into the DeFi Bridge DAO. So there's a lot of information. There's a lot of information there, but there's some really cool stuff. There's really cool stuff to come. So there's also fiat USD. You mentioned Max. So yes, on the traditional finance side of things, that sits in client safeguarded fund accounts. It's going to be fully insured. We're putting insurance in place against theft and fraud. And then that stable coin, we have a really cool article that's coming out that Ravi wrote that's going to be in Medium just as soon as we create like a pool on Arbitrum, I'll turn my attention to it. So we're going to publish that on Medium. It's coming, and it describes our journey in terms of creating a stable coin, which we kind of created by mistake because we didn't really want to create a stable coin. What we really wanted to do was to enable people to go from their bank account into DeFi and back. So that'll all be explained. It's going to have its own website as well, and it's going to be a lot better than USDC or Tether. So, are there any other big questions? I'm sure there's a million questions, Max. But is there anything else that?
Yeah, can Amadeo or yourself explain how we're going to create revenue in the new business model? Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I can. It's a bank alternative. banks do pretty well. You've probably noticed, so we make our money basically in the same way a bank does. So we make it through fees and margin. So for users, there'll be fees. We're going for a mass market adoption approach. So we're trying to keep the fees low per individual, but of course we will be charging fees to people. We have different grades of our banking. So there's basic banking and there's 2 levels of premium banking. If you hold fluid tokens or DBD tokens, you will be able to be eligible for the premium banking services, which is amazing. So fees is one and margin is the other. Essentially, particularly in the real world, we're able to offer like a really compelling rate of return for normies, for real world people, which, is like 3, 4, 5, 6%. Our flagship product is going to be 6%, and there's going to be no lockup to that product. And then on the DeFi side of things, our margins are higher. So we'll be making a margin spread off of that. So yeah, so that's the model, and it's I don't know what to say. Banks, this is Amadeo's idea of a vampire attack. So we have a liquidity attack on CeFi. Our target market, our TAM, total addressable market, is just over $60 trillion, and it's the global deposit banking market. And we're going to suck a bunch of liquidity out of it because, DeFi is just a better system. So.
Perfect. How will the new DAO tokens get airdropped as well?
Yeah, so great question. So basically what we will be building first is the web application and the mobile application. So first we want to create some TVL, like every nowadays DeFi applications or crypto applications. We will create some TVL by opening up to the masses, and then when that is opened up and we have some volume, let's say when we get X amount of volume, then we will issue a token. So we will do a retroactive airdrop and a retroactive distribution to people that potentially use the DeFi bridge DAO. But this is still in limbo. So we're still like trying to see what is the most efficient way to do and where to integrate the token that makes the most sense. So this is an ongoing investigation and R&D effort that we're doing there. But I can say already that the DeFi bridge DAO in itself has also interest from other, not only like FluidFi, which is basically the first customer of the DeFi bridge DAO. So you could see it like that. But of course, FluidFi kind of seeds this DAO, right? But there's also other parties that are already interested. Maybe I cannot mention too much about that yet, but maybe some other banks are interested, or some factories or mines or whatever. Like there's a lot of real world assets in this world that are looking for a way to interact with a new technology stack or interact with something that gives them more liquidity.
And what is happening with the old WCRES? Because that seems like a quite popular question.
Yeah, so for the moment, the WCRES remains unchanged. It represents like exactly as before, a share in Cresco. Like we said, there seems to be some things that are unauthorized. Our lawyers are looking at it, and we're going to report more next week. But the thing that everybody should be really, really reassured about is you're getting fluid tokens that represent exactly the same thing, and you will have suffered absolutely no loss. So we'll see exactly what we're going to do with the WCRES, and we'll announce it next week. But the key thing for me, to be honest, was to make sure that the community didn't suffer any losses. So we've done the best that we can. We're going to create new tokens, a new pool. Like I said, you're seeing it in real time. Nick and Amadeo and I are going to create it when we hang up from this call. So I myself have extended the lock, or am going to extend the lock as soon as possible, so that my tokens are locked up for 5 years in Cresco, and my tokens in Fluid Finance will also be locked up for 5 years. So maybe 5 years from now I can be on a beach somewhere, but in the interim, I won't be dumping any of those tokens. So we'll get more details next week.
And why Arbitrum as opposed to the Ethereum network?
Yes, thank you. I was hoping for that question, right? So like we actually were looking at Polygon and some other like side chains or other chains as well. But Arbitrum went live so fast and so efficiently. So we were like, wow, that goes really smooth. So let's go there. And it has, like, compared to other chains, it just has the highest security. Because like if you're on Ethereum layer 1, of course you have the most security, it's the highest security layer. But if we would have airdrop the tokens with the current gas prices to Ethereum layer 1, we probably would have spent like something like $80K dollars in gas fees. So we thought like, well, that's a waste of money. So let's try to go to Ethereum Arbitrum layer 2 directly and directly establish our ground there. And then if you want, you can always, of course, we can also make then a link back to Ethereum layer 1. But there, if you want to claim the token or if you want to exchange the token or anything, you will pay a lot of gas fees. And also for our minting of our fiat USD, so for stablecoin, we would have like $10, $20 of minting fees, which is a little bit too high right now for us. Like if you want to mint $1,000 and if you have to pay $20 in fees, how is that better than the current system, right? But on Arbitrum, the fees are much lower even than the current banking system, and they're much lower than the Ethereum layer 1, and they offer similar security. Why they offer similar security is because on Arbitrum layer 2, if there is ever anything going on, you can always sync back to Ethereum layer 1. And there's basically no other chain that has that level of security and really links back to Ethereum layer 1, which is basically our home ground. So our home base is Ethereum, but we use an Ethereum layer 2, an actual layer 2 like Arbitrum, to make it very easy to sync and to sync back and forth and to lower the gas fees.
It's pretty amazing, I can tell you, from like, seeing how the tech team works, because they've been deployed and running the fiat USD stablecoins for a little while on the Kovan testnet for Ethereum and Mumbai for Polygon. And I went to Amsterdam to get together with like Nick and Amadeo and Ravi and Alexander Remy, our security consultant from Trail of Bits. Was there. So, Amadeo showed us around Amsterdam, which is like a boat cruise on the canal. So we're talking about Arbitrum. And then I flew back to Switzerland the next day. But when I got back to Switzerland and checked my phone, Nick had already deployed it to Arbitrum. So we had just been chatting about it. So it's pretty incredible. So, I think it's like, I think it's an amazing opportunity, I think, for fluid finance to be. I think we're going to build lots of stuff on Arbitrum. And plus, it allows me to tease Stani by telling him that we got there first. And I keep asking him when Aave is going to be there. So.
And all the aspects of fiat USD are going to remain the same?
So what do you mean?
Just the general.
Yeah, so basically, I see a lot of questions from Lakuas about the insurance of Lloyd's, but maybe Simon can say something about that.
Well, we're going to do there's different finances. So there's finance on the traditional side and then on the crypto side, Simon will tell you. So on the traditional side, we're really happy that it's held in client safeguarded fund accounts with our banking partners. And so that's really safe. And then we put in place fraud and theft insurance, Simon can talk a bit about. And then for insuring on the crypto side of things, we need to think about like finance collateralizing it ourselves, insuring it ourselves. Eventually insurance will probably come, but Simon, do you want to talk a bit about the insurance?
Yeah, so we're going to make sure that depositors have the safety and the comfort of knowing that we've got a full insurance program in place, that their funds are not at risk, whether they're lodged with us, whether they're lodged with our banking partners. And there's a very well-established method to be able to do that. I've got long experience in Lloyd's for 35 years. So, you know, it's about picking the right insurance partners that are going to understand what we're doing. On the DeFi side, as Robert says, it's a little more challenging because it's beginning to come to the insurance market, and they are starting to understand that they can work in DeFi-based currencies, other methods, but we're going to have to bash some doors down there. And we also have some very interesting solutions that we want to bring to the table and develop there.
So Simon, you know, we had talked before about, like, you know, when we created Cresco, it was to do some insured invoices. You know, it has been a lot more. It's been a lot more Derek's side of thing than mine, but I'm really excited about it because I really think that blockchain will totally revolutionize, like, some of these things, like invoices hashed to chain. I think it's the absolute future. We're not going to comment at the moment on Cresco because we're looking into some things, but I'm really excited about it. I heard from Felix that there was some questions in the chat group about, you know, about this product. Really like it. I personally think it's great. I think DeFi is going to replace everything in you know, in traditional finance. Like, once, you know, the person I feel the most sorry for in FluidFi is Igor, because Igor has to lead our, like, integrations into CeFi. It must be a total nightmare. So, you know, Simon, you know, we've talked a bit about this before, like, things hashed to chain really that's proof of delivery. I think that's a really rich area for insurance, something we're going to explore more in the future. We'll have more of a full report on Cresco later, but you share that view? You share the view that, like, hash to chain is the future?
Completely. And, you know, a lot of my experience and background has been in kind of shadow banking, but particularly in trade finance. So all the things where you're not necessarily seeing the finance that is making the wheels of the world turn. And I've got a lot of background on that. And what we're seeing is traditional banks are running and hiding. And, you know, even for very well-established clients who've worked with their bankers for years and years, you know, they're now finding it extremely difficult. So I'm absolutely, it's the bit that makes me really thrilled and excited to be here, is the idea that, you know, we can help structure deals. They can be CeFi, conceivably they can be DeFi in the not too distant future. And, you know, that puts us in a complete market lead position if we can begin to do that. And it is, you know, I have to hold myself in check because I get a bit evangelical about all this now, and I put my anorak on and I'm off and I'm talking about it. But I think the opportunities for FluidFi in this space are to be right at the forefront of everything that's going on. And, you know, it comes from the things that we've talked about, Robert, because you and I know that we've worked together on and off for 5 years now to bring the whole product to fruition in the way that it's now beginning to happen. And it's you know, the future is so bright. Put your shades on now.
Yeah, and if I may add there as well, that I think, like, as Robert said, like, the institutional side of things will, like, Derek was leading that, so that will stay in Cresco. So it's really up to him what he wants to do there, and we will have to see what his response of that is. Well, we are going to do basically a DeFi first approach to it, but still with, like, a core banking infrastructure in the back end, and we're just gonna offer the highest yield and offer the best products. And as somebody asked already, like, oh, are we going to drop institutionals? No, the nice thing in DeFi is it doesn't discriminate. So if you're either an institution or a retail user, you basically get the same treatment from us.
So look, you know, it's a lot of news. It's a lot of news for everybody. I can't tell you how excited I am personally about this. A lot of my own money, you know, a lot of my own effort, and you know what I'm really passionate about is into this company. I'm like really excited that we have an amazing team. You're seeing part of the team in front of you. There's like, you know, there's a lot more people who've helped out, people who helped from the community side. So, you know, please bear with us. Everybody's going to get fluid tokens. We're going to do that. We're going to do that really soon. The product that's coming, I think people will be blown away by. I really think it's like a missing piece of the element to lead for mass adoption for DeFi. So, look, thanks to everybody. The social media team is going to get some stuff about our new credentials, a new Discord, a new Telegraph. Some things are changing over. Bear with us. It's not going to be incredibly polished. It's not. It's not some like, you know, big bank. It's really a community-driven organization, and you know, we're really humbled that you're part of it here with us. So, a lot more news to come, and it's all like, you know, it's all really incredible. We're all really excited about it on this side. So, thanks again.
Thank you, everybody.